Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jolera Interview Series. I'm your host, Paulo Delangleto, the Chief Channel Business for Jolera. This series, again, features prominent executives and influencers from the IT industry talking about technology innovation, the as-a-service market, leadership, and the overall marketplace. And today, we're going to be talking about digital marketplaces, and our guest is a regular contributor, the Chief Revenue Officer for Jolera, Chris Black. Chris, welcome back.
Hey, Paulo.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago at the Jolera Interview Series that we had Jay McBain, who was a very prominent analyst for Forrester and Canalys, and was a longtime channel chief, talking about digital marketplaces and their growth. And it looks like, especially in the B2B space, it may be 30% of the overall economy. And in 2024, it may reach $3.6 trillion, up from $680 billion. So I'm sure you're not surprised that, the growth, but what does it mean for an MSP and a channel communities out there?
Ooh, Paulo, we talked about this when you're throwing this at me. I may be a bit of a contrarian in this space. I don't want to take anything away from Jay. I think he knows his business quite well, and I think there is a spot for digital marketplaces, as we see with Apple's App Store and ecosystem there. That would be one of the original digital marketplaces. Of course. Yeah. We see Teleris and some of these organizations down in the U.S. who are bringing together different brands to create these digital marketplaces and extend those out at scale to other vendors. I think for MSPs, especially for MSPs, so I want to separate out managed service provider who's focused on delivering managed service solutions, not selling hardware, not selling software that may be a subsidiary part of their business, but they're focused on service delivery, that customer experience, service desk, knock, SOC, those sort of things. For them, they're dealing with what are typically bespoke solutions designed on a per customer basis. These aren't turnkey solutions. There's turnkey elements to them, but it's not like a storage solution where you just, here's the amount of storage we need, here's the migration to get the storage from A to B. And I know it's not that simple, but it's a hell of a lot more simple than it is creating a managed service and form fitting it to a customer. So when I sit and I hear about these digital marketplaces, I have to ask questions, and I'm a person who my curiosity leads to investigation. So what I've heard of digital marketplaces in the MSP community and with advanced solutions, what I've heard from other people who are involved in these digital marketplaces is that they're full of, I'm not going to use a word, but it's a four-letter word, starts with an S and ends with a T.
Or it could be a C and ends with a P.
Yeah, it could have many of those. Yeah. There's different ways to look at it, but that there's no truth and reality to it. They create these digital marketplaces. You create an expose of your brand. You do all of this work, and there's no transactions that go through there. So one of the things that I've learned in go-to-market, in marketing and in sales through my career is that you go to where the customers want to buy. And customers still buy from people, and they buy in the boardroom. Now, marketing and digital marketplaces and websites and, slicks and all of this stuff can inform a buyer, but a buyer still wants to talk to a human being face to face to share their challenges. That's the sales process that we call discovery. And discovery is the fundamental element that is required to find the right solution. A buyer doesn't often know what they need unless it's so painfully obvious that they can go to a digital marketplace. And when it comes to bespoke IT solutions, you just don't know what that is. There's so many terms that tend to collide with each other.
Right.
Your version of a tier one service desk might be different than mine.
Right.
How do I know that digital marketplace's tier one service desk, definition is my definition? What's included in that? The devil's in the details. So digital marketplaces, maybe there's a place for them for certain velocity-based, clear, easy to understand solutions, bespoke solutions that have human emotion attached to the buying process. I don't see it. And
also, too, with MSPs and the overall channel community, they're looking to get the right outcome for the customer. So would you say that, they have some time on their side? Because, like you say, a lot of these solutions are very hard to unpack, a lot of moving parts, and also the decision-making process, there may be multiple levels in that too. So it's not just a quick snap of the fingers and you have your app, right? So do you think in that perspective, they have time to sort of explore their prospects for digital marketplaces?
Yeah, I think so. I think digital marketplaces are going to continue to be a part of our reality. Finding solutions that you have that fit there and where your consumer is going to be at that watering hole, that's great. It's a diversification of your business. More than anything else, though, I think what MSPs need to do is they need to figure out that really delicate orchestrated dance between sales and marketing, between informing and engaging. And it's talking to people and learning the art of discovery. There's so many great books and great resources out there that can teach you. You know, there's a book called Gap Selling, and I'll put in a plug for my friend Keenan. Jim Keenan wrote the greatest book on discovery that I've ever read. It's called Gap Selling. And what that will teach you to do is go in and do adequate discovery and find the value for a customer. Not just present a solution that doesn't have value. It would allow you to understand their need, their value for it, and to present your solution in a way that innately drives that value to them. So I think they have time, explore the digital marketplaces, but before you do that, figure out discovery, get closer to your prospects and customers, understand their needs at a finite level, and deliver them outcomes. It's a pretty easy business.
So we'll put a link in the description for Gap Selling. Finally, I wanted to ask you, like, a lot of the pundits are thinking that there's either a recession here or on the horizon. Do you think that may slow down the growth of digital marketplaces?
I think it could speed it up and it could slow it down. You know, economic turbulence tends to create good and bad behaviors. You're going to see a lot of organizations make some fundamental mistakes and do things that may or may not make sense. You know, cutting a sales staff and cutting down the number of salespeople that you have out there doing discovery, and then investing your money in a digital marketplace, hoping that the consumers all of a sudden find this digital marketplace and start buying from there. I think that is a massive mistake. I think, you know, moving from one to the other, carte blanche, you know, in that sort of black or white experience, I think that's a huge mistake. The economic turbulence that we're facing, and quite honestly, I don't care how you define a recession, we're in it. You see multiple quarters of negative growth. That is the definition of a recession. Yep. We're in it. We see the economic headwinds all over the place. That's okay. There's opportunity in that. There's an opportunity to become more effective, more efficient, and to test stuff. So yes, try the digital marketplace. Use data to decide whether it's working or it's not working. Talk to your customers, understand your customers' needs and where they're going. I think that the trick, at least in my experience, and I grew up from a business perspective in Alberta, which has seen its share of ups and downs, and it's all based on the energy dollar. And coming through that, the best years I ever had selling in that economy were years where we had economic headwinds and turbulence.
Amazing.
Because I was focused on customers. Get focused on your customer and let them buy from people who understand their needs.
So Warren Buffett always says, focus on the customer first. Okay, well, thank you very much, Chris, who, as you know, is going to be a regular contributor to the Jolera Interview Series. You can follow him on LinkedIn. And again, thank you very much for watching the Jolera Interview Series. And I'm Paul Dummy-Bletto. Until next time, so long.